Commander Aldyke?
At ease. Listen up. You are all here because you have been hand-selected for this mission. As many of you, if not all of you, will know, this mission is a joint operation. One that is to be conducted between us and the forces of the newly established Side 3 Colonial Army. This is Admiral Gazon Schreiber. He is formerly of the forces of Zeon. Despite the emotions that such an individual's presence may inflict upon some of you, I am expecting all of you to treat him and his men with respect. These people are not our enemies, and in this mission, we hope that by the end of it, some of you may come through this as allies. Captain Ethos will explain a little behind the background of this mission, and then we will hand things over to the Admiral. Understand? Do I make myself clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
Good. All right, Captain, you have the floor.
Gentlemen, 2 months ago, a Lombardia-class warship and 3 vessels belonging to the Federation were attacked. 2 Salamis Kais were lost, and the Alexandria, leading the formation, was sent in retreat. As for the Lombardia, the ship was captured. The enemy at the time of the incident was believed by command to be a pirate force, as shown by this footage that the enemy is composed of both Zeon and Federation mobile suits, as well as some minor warships. However, since then, with help from our new allies in the Colonial Army, our assumptions have been proven wrong. We're dealing with Zeon remnants, people.
Typical.
Highly skilled and equipped Zeon remnants at that. Ones who have been lying in wait in the shadows for years.
Why the hell are we getting tasked with a stupid cleanup?
It's so that the government and the Princess Meneva can be seen on good terms.
Enough. You may think this sounds like a run-of-the-mill publicity stunt, but this is far from it. These forces have amassed swathes of manpower. Their leader has summoned a heavily sizable fleet of ships to his cause.
Why are there still Zeon remnants still out there?
Yeah, Shar is dead!
And the princess has called for peace.
Why are they still trying to pick a fight with us?
That's enough. Whatever the case, these guys are still a threat. We need to stop them before they cause any further damage. Go on.
Thank you, sir. I understand your confusion. However, the issue comes from the leader of this group. He's the rallying massive numbers of outcasts and renegades amongst the old Neo-Zeon ranks under his banner, particularly anyone who opposes the current alliance between the Federation and the Meneva faction. This means forces from all parties of the Zeon subgroups, anyone who has a bone to pick with their political aims, as well as an individual who will act as this mission's secondary target. Takira Nishimura. This man is a high-profile arms dealer from Side 3. The man is heavily involved in the criminal underworld of the Seven Sides. And lately, the man has been spotted heavily cooperating with these Zeon forces. He has his own private security force comprised of ex-Principality and Neo-Zeon officers, all heavily trained and battle-hardened. They've been seen operating alongside with the larger host, and he's a target that the Federation Criminal Police Organization has been desperately trying to capture for years now.
Corporal, you have a question?
Why are we going after these threats? Why is Londo Bao getting involved in a situation that's obviously something for ECOWAS to handle? Criminal dealings are their jurisdiction. Can't we be the ones to just go after this remnant force?
Well, typically yes. Something like this would be handled by ECOWAS in the traditional terms. However, the issue comes with the other target and how these two groups have coalesced. Our friends in the shadows. However, I think it'd be best to hear it from our guests, as the Admiral has the most experience when it comes to both of these groups. Admiral, if you would.
Thank you. Hello. My name is Admiral Gazon Schreiber. I'm one of the head commanders of the Side 3 Colonial Army. I know that it may seem like strange times. Not that many years ago, the Federation and Zeon were at odds. However, as the Princess Meneva has expressed deeply her desires, ones I share with her and many others of our people, our forces are hoping to forge an alliance with this mission, in hopes of preventing more conflicts from occurring again, and to prevent radicals like these from gaining a dangerous foothold over the colonies. The more allies we have against these miscreants, the better. However, that being said, the other target that your captain mentioned, the leader of this group, is not one that should be taken lightly. This mission's primary target, and one that is of the most importance. This is former Neo-Zeon Mobile Suit Commander Vaylin Garrus. I've been told by your superiors that some of you who are here have encountered this man and his forces on the battlefield. But for those who don't know, Vaylin Garrus is formerly a lowly officer of the Principality. He rose through the ranks of Neo-Zeon at a young age to act as one of the principal honor guards to the former Lady Haman Karn. However, after the outbreak of the Neo-Zeon Civil War, the man has since gone turncoat, siding with the forces of Glemmy Todo, with his forces fleeing from the battle at Core 3 at the end of the war. However, and this is something of note, not before managing to steal a sizable sum of gold from one of the vaults at Axis. The wealth he's accumulated has granted him the ability to maintain his forces for quite the vast amount of time. As for Takira, the man can barely be considered a Zeon in the eyes of my people. He briefly fought within the ranks of the late Colonel Makuve's detachment, and was once a mobile suit pilot during the Battle of Odessa. However, once the battle was lost and Takira saw that the war was ending in the Federation's favor, he fled to space, where he now acts as the head of a vast criminal enterprise. These two forces meeting, at least from personal encounters I'd had with both, at first seemed very unlikely. However, here we are. Valen Garrus has amassed an army of fighters with the backing of Takira Nishimura and his criminal syndicate. A threat this large cannot be ignored. Not when it commands a fleet as large as theirs.
So you just want Londo Bell's help to take out your competition?
The Princess Maneva herself had attempted to de-escalate the man's rapidly growing expansion, calling upon his oaths as a former Space Noid and former ally. However, the man deeply opposes the idea of a potential alliance between our two sides. And within this span of time alone, before and after, he has managed to lash out even further with more attacks and raids on both of our forces, refusing to see reason and demanding only bloodshed. Thank you, Commander.
This brings us to the current mission. This is Tiger Bomb, one of the offshoot product colonies located just on the edge of Psi-3's territory. This place for decades has been deeply entrenched in the criminal dealings of the entire Earth sphere. This place is where Valen Garrus, with the help of Takira Nishimura, has managed to turn this colony into his own personal bastion.
If the entire colony has become a Zeon remnant fortress, can't the Federation just nuke it from space?
Yeah, or just hit it with grips too.
Unfortunately, not. Tiger Bomb is currently set within an orbiting trajectory that currently lands it smack dab in the middle of the Core 3 debris zone. Ruins of the colony, along with asteroids scattered by the Musa collision, make the colony difficult to engage from afar. The worst part is that this colony is still home to tens of thousands of people, might I add, most of them living in the densely packed slums scattered across the colony. Fighting, if encountered inside the colony, must be done to minimize and prevent any possible damage to the colony itself.
And that means disabling all enemy combatants and their mobile suits when engaged, and working to seal breaches if done so.
Aside from the colony itself, within the debris field, several large asteroids and sections of colony debris from Core 3 have been converted into small makeshift staging grounds to protect the outer perimeter of the colony's territory. Our reconnaissance patrols have identified minefields and automated gun satellites at these general locations, along with a number of small mobile suit launch pads scattered within the cluster to allow the enemy better support at the area. Yes?
You mentioned that they possess mobile suits from both the Federation and Zeon. How was it that they got their hands on them?
Most of the Federation mobile suits they have access to are from the Titans era, most of them being stolen from the convoys they've raided or savaged and acquired through their new criminal connections.
Will we really be forced to engage within the colony?
If fighting within the colony does occur, we will be taking special protective measures to prevent damage to its structure. Our plan is to fight through their defenses and encircle the colony with our forces to force their surrender. Yes?
Do you have a definitive location for their central base within the colony?
Yes. Once we reach Tiger Bomb, our mobile suit teams will work to secure several key positions in and around the colony. The first, to the colony's main spaceport. The second, the colony's central computer control center at the other end. One team to the colony's local government offices inside. And last, to the Nishimura compound located behind this massive walled-off section to the far end of the colony.
Why is it walled off?
Lieutenant Carter, would you mind explaining it to them?
Yep. When Tiger Bomb was built, the colony had its expansion wall retained. As the colony was completed, the wall was never removed. This walled-off area marks a small area that lies at the edge of the main city, essentially segregating the Nishimura estate from the rest of the colony.
Judging by this layout you've shown, why can't we just breach the colony walls into the estate? The entire wall seals off the rest of the colony, right? Wouldn't it be easier and safer for the residents inside?
Unfortunately, we actually contemplated this idea. However, as this section is located so close to the colony's main control center, any breach to this area will be catastrophic for the entire colony in the long term.
So we have to go in through the front door, huh?
If that's the way you want to look at it, then yes.
What kind of resistance are we expected to face? How large of a force does Valen really have?
These are ECOWAS's scans. Just recently, they spotted the Vulgara amongst their rank and file. They possess quite the assembly of warships for a remnant force, both stolen and salvaged. 3 heavily modified and salvaged Summonus Kai-class cruisers, along with 2 one-year war-era Magellans, 2 of the old Principalities Musais, and 1 of the remnants Musai Kais. 2 Endra-class warships from the end of the First Neo-Zeon War, 1 Zanzibar II-class heavy carrier, your stolen Vulgara, as well as 2 of our own Musakas he's managed to steal. And finally, the crown jewel of Valen's assembled fleet, and the one that I cannot express the importance of, the Guanban-class warship, Guanzan.
That thing's huge. Have you ever seen the size of those ships?
I didn't think they had any other ones.
She's very formidable, which is why we're expecting your best when it comes to any potential fighting. As for their mobile suit complement, you'll see more of the units we managed to get a visual of in your individual squad briefings.
I want another meeting tomorrow with all of your squadron leaders. Understood? All right, man. Let's get to work. Move it!